I'm not too sure if it is working or not. But anyway, it's not very clear because I am using my laptop. So yeah, please let me know if you can hear me and so on, because I'm not sure if it's working. But I've come on to do the weekly live tarot readings to see what's going on for each star sign in the week. But I want to talk about something first that's been quite popular in recent events, and it's about what happened with Doreen Virtue denouncing tarot. Now she denies certain things, and it's because she said that when she got baptised, she saw a vision of God first, Jesus, and she knew instantly that predicting the future was wrong. Using tarot to predict was wrong. So she also said that mediumship, speaking to spirit, was wrong as well. That in the Bible it says not to. But what I'm trying to say is, I wrote it down because I do get very forgetful, so you will have, I don't know if you can hear me, I have no idea, because I do get very forgetful. Now, Doreen said that speaking to spirit was wrong. People were going to the deceased to get answers and questions when they should be going straight to God. But how can speaking to spirit be wrong if mediums like myself, like Doreen Virtue herself and other mediums, that we have the ability, if it enriches people's lives and brings them comfort, how can that be wrong? Why would we be given the gifts that we are and the abilities to speak to spirit if we're not meant to do it? How can anybody say it's wrong? We're all, as Doreen said, we are all given gifts. In her video, she said that some are given the gifts of healing, some are given the gifts of knowing, of counselling. So if we're given these gifts, how can it be wrong to use them? She's contradicting herself. And as for saying that predicting the future and divining the future is wrong and against God's will, the Bible is written by people who predicted the future. The Bible is written by prophets. The Bible states about things that will happen in the future and the ways that people should live their lives. Well, how did that Bible get wrote if it wasn't people that were predicting the future and going to see prophets? It's beyond me, to be perfectly truthful. I don't see how you can 1 minute be supportive of something that you're so passionate about and then all of a sudden denounce it, saying it's wrong and that it shouldn't be done. Let me just see. The Bible has a lot of things wrote in it that are impossible to follow, like if you see yourself naked, pardon that, but you're to take your own eyes out. Now, I'm not against the Bible, I'm not against Christianity. I mean, my husband's a Christian himself. I'm against is people using religion to force other people to their will, to force other people to their way of believing. Religion is each and everybody's belief. You can't force somebody to believe in something that they're not willing to believe. You shouldn't make or push your beliefs on other people. I wouldn't tell everyone to come over to witchcraft, because not everyone wants to be a witch. Some people might want to be a Christian or a monk or a Buddhist or Roman Catholic. There's so many different religions, and I'm not against the religions, I'm not against anybody else's beliefs, but when somebody says that what you do is wrong, that's bang out of order. It's wrong to say that what you're doing is wrong. I mean, I've loved Doreen Virtue, I've loved the work that she's done, and she's been a big part of tarot readers' lives. You know, most tarot readers know who Doreen Virtue is. I mean, I've got a lot of her cards. You know, Doreen Virtue wouldn't be who she was without the support of all these people buying her cards, her books and all her other bits and pieces. So how can she turn around and basically slap us all in the face to say that what we're doing is wrong? You know, we've supported her and we've made her who she is by buying her products and, you know, supporting who she is. And now she's basically slapped us in the face and told us that we're all wrong and that we now have to stop doing what we're doing. Well, I'm sorry, my lovely, but it's wrong. You know, you can't say something like that without getting a reply, basically. For instance, in the Bible as well, it also says that you're not to wear clothes of mixed fibres. Well, everybody does. Do you know what I mean? Like, mine's probably 90% polyester and 10% cotton or something like that. That's mixed fibres. So realistically, we're breaking the Bible rules and laws on that as well. So if you're going to follow the Bible, follow it wholly and truthfully before preaching it to other people. That's what I'm saying. Because for some reason I don't think that Doreen Virtue is somebody who has never seen herself naked, because she's still got her eyes. And I'm sure that she's wore clothes of mixed fibres and still does. So I think that before she starts telling people what we're doing is wrong, get your own religion right and follow it to the T. Don't say, you know, this is right or that's right, and then expect other people to not say anything because, you know, your book, your Bible says for you to do this and to do that. Well, unless you're following it to the T, how can you be a good example to everybody else? If Doreen wants to change her life completely, then so be it. That is her choice to change, but don't tell other people what they are doing is wrong. If you don't live by every word of the Bible, you can't pick and choose which bits are okay and which bits aren't, and expect people to follow you. Is the way forward for you, but you cannot tell that other people what they're doing is wrong. I'm not telling you that you following your Christianity, getting baptized, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying the Bible's wrong, but what I'm saying is that telling other people what they do is wrong and that it shouldn't be done, that's bang out of order and it's hurtful. And considering all the things that people have done, I mean, I have got numerous decks of Doreen Virtue cards. I mean, at the minute I'm looking at 3, and that's just in the boxes. I've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 or 8 decks of Doreen Virtue's cards, and to be told that what I'm doing and speaking to spirit we shouldn't, then why have we been able to do this? Why have we been given the gift that we're able to see into the future? I mean, I don't have to use tarot cards to predict somebody's life, to help them, to guide them, to see what's in store with them, because I can do it without, but I use the cards as a tool to not have to use my own energy all the time and to make it easier on myself. But it's hurtful. It is very, very hurtful. She says that you should go straight to God for your messages, yet she prays to his son Jesus of Nazareth. That is something that really got to me. She said on the video, she said that when people give messages, they should only give the messages that God gave them. How do you know which messages God gives you and which messages you aren't? For instance, if you had a premonition in a dream, how do you know if God gave it you or if it's something that you've had a natural ability to do? But she says go straight to God, and yet at the end of that video she prays to Jesus of Nazareth. Now, Jesus of Nazareth is not God, it's his son. So she's contradicting herself there as well, because she's praying to Jesus, she's not praying to God. So how does that work? I just, to be perfectly truthful, I find it insulting, and I think she owes a lot of people an apology. Instead of denying the things that she's done and saying that, you know, she didn't do this and she didn't mean it that way and this, that and the other, be honest. And why take your name off your tarot cards? The work that you've done, you should be proud of the things that you've done and the people that you've helped through the gifts that you've been given. Accept the gifts, but as I said, it's your choice. If mediumship and divining the future is wrong, then why are we given the gifts in the first place? That is something that I really would like an answer to, because if we're not meant to use them, then why are we given them, and how do you know if the message is from God or somewhere else? It's very difficult to say. How can Doreen say that she doesn't use her oracle deck to divine the future when using them for guidance messages? She said that she will carry on using her oracle decks, you know, for like the new Jesus oracle deck which is brought out or bringing out, but they're not to divine the future, they're to guide. But if you're guiding somebody, you're looking into the future to see how it's going to work out. You're seeing a problem there and trying to help them into the future. So realistically, it doesn't matter how you look at it, you're using those cards to divine the future. You're using the cards to see how to make the future better. So clearly, you know, you are divining the future no matter which way you look at it. You can't say that you're only using them for messages and not readings, because it's the same thing, it's just splitting hairs. You're still divining the future. So I have no problem with any religion or the fact that Doreen has stopped using tarot cards or mediumship, but basically saying it's wrong that Doreen has been so immersed in, and the people who have made her who she is by supporting her and purchasing her cards and books. She is basically slapping us all in the face and saying what we are naturally able to do is against God's will and is wrong, and that is very, very hurtful. But that is all I am saying on this subject now. I don't mean to offend anybody, I don't mean to upset anybody, because that's not what I'm here to do, but I had to get it off my chest. It was hurtful, it was horrible, the things that she said about the gifts that were given, and I am speechless, to be perfectly truthful. Very, very speechless. But for now, I am going to go and divine the future for this week, as I do. Oh, bugger! I have just thrown, well, not so much thrown as spilled my cards, so do bear with me while I reassemble the deck. Lie down. Oh, I found a rune. Isn't that strange? See? I'll have to see what's in store later. So I am going to start from the beginning and work my way through the star signs. The first star sign I am going to is Aries. So let's see what's in store for Aries this week. Please guide me, Spirit and Angels. Let me see what's there for the Aries. Okay, so Aries, it's a good time for you to be proud of the things that you've done, be proud of your accomplishments. We're changing seasons, you know, we're going to be coming into autumn soon, and autumn is a good time to review everything and check how progress has been made. Autumn is a time for starting to rest, starting to relax, letting everything that you've put into it work, preparing for winter. It's also time to be proud of the things that you've done and celebrate the achievements that you've made. Even if a lot of people don't recognise the things that you have accomplished, well, you recognise them yourself. Don't let other people's lack of interest get you down. Don't let other people's lack of, you know, recognition get you down, sorry. It's also a good time to spend a bit of time on your own and make plans for the future, because as I said, you know, winter will be here before you know it, and winter is a time of where, you know, you've got everything stocked up and you're ready for the coming months. So it's a good time now to make the plans for the future. There'll be decisions and choices to make, and sometimes you will feel as you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. But if you take the time to look inside yourself, you will find the answers that you seek, and the way forward as well. So this week it's about spending a bit of time on your own and being proud of the things that you've done, while also searching for plans and new paths for the future. Oakley dokley Aries, lots and lots of love to you all. Take care. Just pardon me a minute. Just having a drink. So thirsty. Okay, so now I am going to Taurus. Taurus is, if I remember correctly, an earth sign. People with Taurus as a sign can be very, very focused, sometimes too focused on something that they miss out on other things that are going on. So for people with the sign Taurus, it's a good thing to make sure that you're not missing anything and that you're seeing the situation as the whole, because although you can be very grounded and very sensible, sometimes you do something because you're concentrating too much on the wrong thing. So let's see what the cards would like you to know. Budge, go on, shoot, move. Oakley dokley. So sometimes you've got too much going on. You're doing one thing with one hand and another with another, and your mind's somewhere else. You're stretching yourself too thin. You're doing too much at one time. You need help, and accept help when it's offered. Don't turn it down because of pride. Don't turn it down because of, you know, you feeling like you're too important to say, oh no, I don't need help, or you're too big to ask for help. When you measure everything out, measure it truthfully, be honest, and